So, welcome everyone who have joined and are listening to my talk on the pineal gland, glimpses into the marvels of the nature. I thank Professor Punita Manik for having given such an elaborate introduction. Now, after the disclaimer, much of the presentation has been prepared on the published top article, Pineal Gland, a Structural and Functional Enigma, authored and co-authored by my wife, published in the Journal of the Anatomical Society of India, 2013. A natural question comes in the mind of most of us, that is there any association between the pine tree and the pineal gland? Yes, there is, because the pineal gland resembles the cone of the pine tree. Now, this pineal gland in American English, it is called as the pineal gland. So whether you call it as pineal gland or pineal gland, it is one and the same thing. In the medical science, Galen, a Roman physician, named this gland as the conarion. Other names associated with this gland are pineal gland, pineal body, epiphysis cerebri, glandula pinealis in Latin, and in Greek there is another name, that is conarion and DMT gland. They are all one and the same thing. In the religious texts, in the Western philosophy, René Descartes, a French philosopher, mathematician, scientist, and a physicist, named it as the seat of soul. Further name given in the Western philosophy are that it's a God organ, it's the pineal eye, third eye, or the soul gland. While in the Eastern philosophy, the pineal gland is also known as the eye of Shiva, तीसरा तिल, तीसरी आँख या तीसरा नेत्र, दिव्य चक्षु. In the Tibetan philosophy, it is called as the eye of Dangama, and in Persian philosophy, it is known as the Chashme Batin. Now, the evolutionary scientists opine that if at all, pineal gland should be regarded as the first eye and not as the third eye. There are countless images on the website, and wherever you find mention of the pineal gland, whether it is on the forehead of the Lord Shiva, the eye is shown, and the vertical eye is shown on the forehead. This is a computer animation of the brain and the skull, where the area of the pineal gland is shown illuminated. At the glabella, there is illumination, and here you are shown 6 chakras from below upwards: first, second, third, fourth, fifth at the neck, and sixth in the head. All these the 6th chakra is the site where the pineal gland is supposed to be there. Now, of late, pineal gland has attracted attention during COVID period, because the disorders of the circadian rhythm, which is controlled by the pineal gland, they modify the outcome of the COVID-19 infection. And secondly, melatonin, it's the hormone of the pineal gland, is being used in the treatment of the patients. The dissection photographs, where you find the pineal gland just under the posterior part of the corpus callosum. Now here is a magnified view where under the splenium of the corpus callosum, or below the splenium of the corpus callosum, the great cerebral vein of Galen, number 5, is the pineal gland, which is on the posterior wall of the third ventricle above the corpora quadrigemina. Now, in be it X-ray or MRI scan or CT scan, the pineal opacity is one of the important landmarks, because it indicates, it's an indicator of the midline. Now, since there is calcification in the pineal gland, and this calcification results into an opaque shadow. This opaque shadow is an indicator of the midline in the X-ray of the skull or in the CT or MRI. Now, if the shadow is shifted to the left or to the right, then either there is rotation of the head, or if the head is not rotated, head is properly placed, then there is a space occupying lesion on the contralateral side, or there is a shrinkage or a pull on the ipsilateral side. Now, if you place the skull in the Frankfurt's plane, a plane which is passing from the lower border of the orbit to the upper border of the external auditory meatus, on this plane, from the posterior border of the external auditory meatus, if you draw a vertical line up on the skull, then 5 centimeters above this line is the site where the pineal gland is located. It is 5 centimeters below the skin and the skull on this line. That is the surface marking of the pineal gland, or you can say it is 12 centimeters, roughly 12 centimeters behind and a little above the root of the nose. Now, pineal gland vis-a-vis the third eye. Location of the third eye. What is mentioned in the religious literature, I am telling you about that. I don't have any knowledge, or my third eye is just not, I don't know where it is. But it is about 3.5 inches behind the middle of the eyebrow, or 3 by 4 inches behind and a little above the root of the nose, or 3 by 4 inches behind and a little above the midpoint joining the two pupils. So that is where roughly the third eye is defined in various literatures. The surface marking of the pineal gland is far behind. So as far as pineal gland is known in anatomy, anthropology, medicine and science, it is not where the third eye is. Now, Param Guru Huzur Dr. Prem Saran Satsangi Sahib, Chairman Advisory Committee on Education of the Albagh Educational Institute, during one of his discourses was pleased to remark that pineal gland is not the seat of soul. The pineal gland evolved to improve the vision. That is what David Klein, in his research in 2004, published in 2004, who is the chief of the neuroendocrine of National Institute of Child Development and Health, USA, said that about 500 million years from now, pineal gland developed to improve the vision. Herophilus, 300 BC, said that the pineal gland was the first gland to develop around third week of intrauterine life. Now, before 1917, but for the religious part, only thing known, the gross anatomy and its intimate association with various spiritual phenomena like meditation, extrasensory and intuitive powers. Nothing else was known. Now, because of its association with various spiritual phenomena, scientists avoided experimenting on this gland. Whether it was west or it was east, everybody avoided touching this gland for the experimental purpose. Is lapde mein kaun pade? Thus, it became the last major endocrine gland to be studied. Now, McCord and Allen in 2017 noted that the extract of the cow pineal gland, which was fed to the frog's tadpoles, lightened the color of the frog's skin within 30 to 60 minutes. This was something which attracted the attention of the scientists, but there was a long pause still from 1917 to 1958. In 1958, Lerner and his co-workers of the University of Yale, while doing experiments on the pineal extract for certain skin disorders, discovered the hormone melatonin. The work was published in 1960. Now, this discovery somehow did not find place in most of the medical textbooks till early 70s, and therefore the classical teaching in the medical schools remained that, like vermiform appendix, the pineal gland is a vestigial structure which degenerated with age. Surprisingly enough, though there are chapters, books, memoirs, and large volumes on major endocrine glands of the human body, like hypothalamus, pituitary gland, thyroid, and etc., till date, there remains very sketchy mention of the pineal gland in the books of anatomy, physiology, histology, neurosciences, endocrinology, cognitive science, etc. Now, to understand the marvels of the nature, some amount of gross anatomy and histology is required to be revised. The pineal gland is piriform in shape. It has a body, apex, a body, a stalk. The stalk has two roots, an upper root having heavy neural commissure and a lower root having posterior commissure. Reddish gray in color, size of a rice grain, weighs a little more than 0.1 gram, measuring 7, 5, and 3 millimeters in length, width, and thickness. Masayuki et al. 1996 in a study of 249 MRI scans found that the maximum size of a gland is attained by the age of 2 years, and there is another study which says that thereafter there is no increase in the size of the gland. The gland has got a capsule, well-defined capsule. There are well-defined trabeculae, and between the trabeculae there are lobules, and the lobules has the parenchyma. Enlarging the parenchyma, it has astrocytes, it has pinealocytes or the chief cells, and peptidergic group of neurons. Neuroglia, mainly the main neuroglia are the astrocytes. The pinealocytes, they are perivascular. It has further perivascular phagocytes, interstitial cells, blood sinusoids. There are large blood sinusoids. Pineal gland is highly vascular. It is next to kidney. There are 3 types of nerve endings, and there are mineral deposits. The pinealocytes form the 95% of the population. They are highly modified neurons. They are arranged like cord and clusters. Body is polyhedral. There are 4 to 6 cytoplasmic processes. Each process has got a terminal bud, and this bud abuts against the blood capillaries or the tenocytes or ependymal cells of the third ventricle. In the transmission electron microscope images of the pinealocytes, we find that there is a nucleus, there is Golgi apparatus, rough and smooth endoplasmic reticulum, mitochondria, microtubules.
Sorry, sir. Sorry, sir, for disturbing. Sir, actually, your PPT is not visible, sir.
PPT is not visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right since beginning?
Sir, please go to pin, sir. Pin कीजिएगा sir ऊपर corner पे and
It's visible, sir.
Is it visible?
no, sir. No, sir.
Sir, पहले हो रहा था. Now it is not visible.
नहीं सर, नहीं दिख रहा. पहले हो रहा था, अब नहीं दिख रहा.
Now it is not visible. Yes, sir. Yes.
Now visible.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
It is visible.
Yes.
Sir, yes, so very
Yes,
visible.
sir. Yes, sir.
Visible, sir.
So, the transmission electron macroscopic image of the images of the pinealocytes, where you find that there is a nucleus, there is Golgi apparatus, rough and smooth endoplasmic reticulum, mitochondria, microtubules in the profile, and the microtubules cut in a cross section, and there is lipofuscin pigment. Now, a study published by Koshi and Whitwell in the Journal of Anatomical Society of India 2001 and later published by Al Hussein in Folia Morphologica in 2006. The pinealocyte, there are three types of pinealocytes: light type, dark type, and a third type. Light type outnumber all others. I will not go into the detail, otherwise we digress from the main path of the marvels. Image showing first type, second type, and the third type of the pinealocyte in the histological image. Now the pinealocyte has got membranous bags in the cytoplasm. These bags resemble the cone of the retina. The pinealocytes produce hormones. One of them is indolamines, of which chief is melatonin. Then peptidinergic group of hormone, pineoline, and DMT, dimethyltryptamine. Further, in the pineal parenchyma, there are mineral deposits. Some of the deposits are scattered like brain sand and calcite microcrystals. Other deposits are compact, and these compact deposits are either laminated. In the lower figure, they are laminated, or they are irregular compact deposits called as calcareous deposits or corpora arenacea, acer villus in Latin, and Samona bodies in the Greek. Now, some lesser known facts about the pineal gland. One of them is that there is an evolutionary similarity of cones and interstitial glial cells of retina with the pinealocytes. In the human fetus, childhood, adults, and old age, the pinealocyte cells have cilia with 9+2+0 microtubule pattern. Visible to everybody?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
In the human fetus, childhood, adults, and old age, the pinealocyte cells have cilia with a pattern of 9+2+0 microtubule pattern, suggesting that the human pineal gland may maintain photoreceptor function at all ages. Photoreceptor function. In 5 to 10% cells, they have retinal proteins. The pinealocytes, they have retinal proteins. According to Lonely, 1992, they are also involved in the phototransduction cascade. Their presence is telltale of pineal evolution. Peptidinergic neuron cells, these cells have been identified in the pineal parenchyma. They inhibit all other endocrine glands: pituitary, thyroid, parathyroid, adrenal cortex, adrenal medulla, ovary, testes, pancreas, practically the entire endocrine system. For decades, pituitary has been regarded as the master of the endocrine orchestra, but now, with this development or newer learning about the pineal gland, the pituitary is now regarded as the lieutenant of pineal gland. That means pituitary is working under the pineal gland. Now, if you look at the innervation of the pineal gland, the innervation of the pineal gland is that there is sympathetic innervation, which is crucial for the pineal function, derived from the T1 segment. Parasympathetic innervation from the sphenopalatine and aortic ganglion, and there are fibers from the trigeminal ganglion which carry neuropeptides. Now, this is a diagram which has been prepared by me, and this is a 5-neuron pathway of the sympathetic fibers reaching from the light signals reaching from the retina to the pineal gland. The first neuron is starting from the retina, going to the suprachiasmatic nucleus. Second neuron from here to the reticular nuclei. Third neuron from here to the lateral column of the T1 to T3 spinal cord. And fourth neuron from here to the superior cervical sympathetic ganglion. And the fifth neuron from here to the pineal gland. So this is one of the recognized paths which is mentioned in the Stendering et al. Gunasekaran textbook by Gunasekaran and by Professor G.P. Paul. There is a flow chart. This is a flow chart of the same thing, that how from retina through optic nerve, optic chiasma, these signals, light signals, they reach the pineal gland. Now, alternatively, there is a 7-neuron pathway of the light stimuli reaching the pineal gland. Axelrod in 1970 described that signals from retina, they reach the paraventricular nucleus first, from there to suprachiasmatic nucleus, reticular formation, lateral column of the spinal cord, superior cervical sympathetic ganglion, then ganglion coronary, and then the pineal gland. In the textbook of Inderbir Singh, however, this 7-neuron pathway is slightly different. Paraventricular nucleus is not added. From retina, it is the suprachiasmatic nucleus, reticular formation, lateral column, superior cervical sympathetic ganglion, and from there to habenular nuclei, then ganglion coronary, and then the pineal gland. So it is a 5-neuron pathway or the 7-neuron pathway, but the light signals from retina, they definitely reach the pineal gland. That is one for sure. A central innervation, still not certain whether it is in the human beings or not. The fibers, the light signals from the retina directly reach paraventricular nucleus through the optic nerve, and from the paraventricular nucleus they reach the pineal gland directly along the lateral wall of the third ventricle. So this is the path which is known in the lower animals, but it has not been yet seen in the human beings, but certainly it points a telltale of pineal evolution. Functions of the pineal gland. Till 1958, scientists knew only about what was there in 1917, that the extract of cow pineal will lighten the color of the skin of the frog. Once the melatonin came into, it was discovered, it was followed by a large number of researches on the various aspects of the pineal gland: development, histology, ultrastructure, biochemical, evolutionary, functional aspect, and magnetic, electrical, and electromagnetic properties of the gland. Now, even today, the pineal functions are not fully understood, but it is definitely regulated by light and dark. In dark, the pineal functions are upregulated, while in the light, the pineal glands are suppressed, pineal functions are suppressed. There has to be sympathetic stimulation for the secretions or the pineal gland to function. The secretions are discharged both in the blood capillaries and in the cerebrospinal fluid. The indolamines which are secreted by the pineal glands, one of them is melatonin, then there is serotonin, 5-hydroxytryptamine, norepinephrine, and tryptophan. The peptidergic group of hormones which are secreted by the peptidases group of neurons. They are synthesized and secreted here. They inhibit all other endocrine glands in the human body. Then there is synthesis of DMT molecule in the substance of the pineal gland. Pineolin, which is known to magnify and prolong the effect of the dimethyltryptamine, it's a monoamine oxidase inhibitor which acts on the GABA receptors. Pineal regulates the temperature. It upregulates the temperature while the suprachiasmatic nucleus downregulates the temperature. The classical teaching in the hypothalamus, which also regulates the temperature, the classical teaching is that the anterior hypothalamus regulates the temperature by perspiration. Posterior hypothalamus regulates the temperature by shivering. The pineal gland has got a very intimate association with the circadian rhythm. It is known as the control tower for the biological clock, is the classical concept. Retina in the human beings might also have its own clock, which could be set and reset, like biological clock after the jet lag. Like retina, there are local clocks in liver, lung, intestine, stomach, pancreas, testis, and ovary. But their precise location is not yet known. Now we know that there is a diffuse neuroendocrine system, and the melatonin molecules are found practically everywhere. You talk of skin, you talk of bone, or you talk of anything. These molecules are seen everywhere because the melatonin molecule is absolutely essential for the health of most of the cells. The circadian rhythm has been defined in modern medicine, that which organ functions best in which part of the cycle of 24 hours, and whether it is reproductive system or immune system or cardiovascular system, or it is lungs, or it is liver, or it is gallbladder. Similarly, in the Ayurvedic medicine also, circadian rhythm or the body clock has been defined, and in the traditional Chinese medicine also, there is a detailed mention of the circadian rhythm. So circadian rhythm, whatever be the philosophy or whatever be the system of the medicine, circadian rhythm is well defined and well known. Now, of late, circadian rhythm has attracted attention because of COVID-19 infection. In an article which is published of late in the month of August 2020 by Bryson, that the desynchrony of the circadian rhythm may lead to increased susceptibility to infections, including COVID-19. This is an important observation published, which is significant for the healthcare providers and other essential workers on shift duties. Melatonin, also known as the hormone of darkness, its secretory activity in the pineal gland occurs. It starts the 10th week of intrauterine life up to 17th week of intrauterine life. Thereafter, the secretion of melatonin is suppressed. Again, at the 3 months after the birth, the melatonin secretion starts, and nearing the onset of the puberty, again the melatonin level starts falling. During darkness, the level rises as high because darkness, pineal gland becomes active. The level rises as high as 300 picograms per ml, and in the daytime, the level falls to undetectable levels, that is around 20 picograms per ml. Less than 3 milligram of melatonin is produced per day. It's a chronobiotic molecule. It regulates the sleep-wake pattern, strengthens the immune system, regulates timing and release of the female reproductive hormone, Therefore, it regulates the menarche, when the menses will start, menopause, when the menses will close, frequency and duration of the menstrual cycle. Similarly, in men, it regulates the timing and release of the male reproductive hormone and therefore onset of puberty in males and when the andropause will occur. In the children before puberty, melatonin level is high, therefore it inhibits the sexual development. And from adolescence, where the level falls, the sexual development occurs. It's a powerful antioxidant, prevents cellular damage. That is why melatonin is found practically everywhere in the entire human body. Protects mitochondria against free radicals. It protects the skin against ultraviolet light and environmental stress. It's a popular diet supplement in USA and it is used to correct the jet lag. You find melatonin in the skin also. In skin, you have melanin and melatonin both. So there is often a confusion whether it is melanin or melatonin. Melanin is meant for the pigmentation, and melatonin it's a hormone which is secreted from the pineal, which through blood vessels reaches in all the body tissues. Similarly, in the skin too. Now, of late, melatonin with the COVID-19 infection, it has been seen that the melatonin is effective in the critical care of the patients by reducing the vessel permeability, anxiety, sedation, and it improves the sleeping quality. It protects the lung against the acute lung injury and acute respiratory distress syndrome and often prevents the death. So it reduces the incidence of hospitalization. This work is published of late in the June 2020. Now, this peptidergic group of neurons which secrete hormones, some of the hormones recognized are arginine vasopressin, pineal gonadotropins, gonadotropin releasing hormones, prolactin releasing and inhibiting hormone, thyrotropin releasing and inhibiting hormones, and neurophysin, which could be a prohormone. They are all being secreted by peptidergic group of neurons in the pineal parenchyma. DMT molecule, which is again seen very high level, it is synthesized in the pineal parenchyma. Strassman in 2001 demonstrated the synthesis of DMT molecule, which is a psychoactive substance. He called it as a spirit molecule. There is a massive release of dimethyltryptamine from pineal gland close to the death, which is responsible for near-death experiences. The near-death experiences are both auditory and visual. Strassman demonstrated that the DMT molecule production is stimulated at the time of not only death, but at the time of meditation, childbirth, sexual ecstasy, that is orgasm, extreme physical stress, and near death and death. So it is not only near death where DMT molecule suddenly increases in the pineal gland. There are other activities too where the DMT molecule has been seen in very high concentration in the pineal parenchyma. Then minerals in the pineal gland. Earlier it was thought that the pineal gland has minerals because calcification starts and the pineal gland starts reducing in its function, and this calcification has got nothing to do, but it is only the aging process. Now here you find the whole of the pineal gland in the scanning view of light microscope. Here you find it's a magnified view where a large mass of that is corpora arenacea. Corpora arenacea is there. It's a large mass which is there in the pineal parenchyma. Again, large number of it's a light microscopic scanner view where you find large number of calcareous calcifying bodies which are scattered throughout in the substance of the pineal parenchyma. These are also the images of the similar calcareous deposits. Now these calcareous deposits, as told by Krister 1976 and Michote 1977, who worked on the 11 cadavers obtained from the Department of Anatomy, that they have the salts of calcium, magnesium, phosphorus, ammonium, aluminium, zinc, iron, manganese, strontium, copper, and fluoride. These mineral deposits are both intrapineal and extrapineal. They may result in the distortion of the pineal gland, or at places they are found attached to the cytoplasmic membrane of the pinealocytes and to the capsule, pineal capsule. These are images of various types of mineral deposits where they are scattered, they are lamellated, and they are found as dense, compact bodies. Now, one of the deposits which has attracted the attention of the scientist is the fluoride. Fluoride does not accumulate in the brain otherwise. Because there are blood-brain barriers, they restrict the flow of fluoride into the brain tissue. But pineal has no blood-brain barriers. And therefore, pineal becomes the prime target for fluoride accumulation. Fluoride is strikingly high in the pineal gland. That is what Luke has published in 2001, and these are the images from the PhD thesis of Jennifer Luke, which was published in 1997. Luke says that there are magnetic forces which attract the fluoride into the pineal parenchyma. In the soft part that is non-calcified of the pineal gland, non-calcified part, the fluoride is as high as 300 particles per millennium, while in the hard part, it is as high as 21,000 particles per millennium. If you compare the fluoride in the pineal gland, in the drinking water, you see it is just 4 particles. In the plasma, breast milk and bone, it is in points. In the muscle, it is 0.4 milligram. In the toothpaste, it is a little higher, but in the pineal gland, it is strikingly higher, goes to 300 to 21,000 particles per millennium. 99% of the fluoride is found in the calcified tissue only. Now, why there is such a high concentration of fluoride in the pineal gland is still an enigma, not yet fully understood. You take the scanning electron micrograph of the minerals. Beconier in 2002 first reported that these are the crystals which are 100 to 300 microcrystals per cubic millimeter. In the human pineal, there are 100 to 300 microcrystals per cubic millimeter, made up of carbon, calcium, and oxygen, measuring 218 Armstrong to 38 Armstrong, very small. They float in the pineal parenchyma and they are non-uniform in the distribution, variable in size. Sometimes the compact bodies which are laminated. The microcrystals are all scattered in the pineal parenchyma, and the compact bodies which are called as corpora arenacea or acerbilus or Samuna bodies. Now, we are going towards the marvels of the nature, shifting towards the marvels of nature. The microcrystals have been defined, they have been described as 3 types of crystals. They are mulberry-like, they are non-mulberry-like crystals, and non-calcium containing crystals. The scanning micrograph of these crystals are branching and there are spaces between the crystals. Edward and Beconier in 2013 reported a new form of the crystal. This looks like a calcite microcrystal. It is polycrystalline complex does not exceed 20 mu in length. Length is this much only. Now, what is the effect of these calcareous bodies? They reduce the number of functioning pinealocytes. They reduce the production of melatonin. They impair sleep and wake cycle. Their number is higher in the Alzheimer's disease. Structure of these crystals is that they are similar to the otoliths. Otoliths, you find them in the internal ear. There are otoliths in the ampulla of the semicircular canals. Now, they are hydroxyapatite crystals which are also found in the bone. But the difference of these crystals in the bone and the pineal gland is that in the bone they are embedded in the hard matrix, while in the pineal gland they float in the soft parenchyma, soft matrix, ground substance. Now these crystals expand and contract due to the presence of electromagnetic field around us, which is in the range of 40 to 60 hertz, which is normally present around us. Now, these crystals are piezoelectric. Piezoelectric means that electricity resulting from the pressure or in the response of applied mechanical stress. Pineal calcifications are piezoelectric. They are in the frequency range of mobile communication. These crystals are capable of tuning to radio stations without the use of electricity. These crystals turn sound vibrations into the electrical current, and therefore these crystals which are synthesized, these crystals are in the synthetic form also. They are used in the microphones. Cell phones and microwave emitting devices have adverse effect on the pineal gland. So if you are close to the microwave most of the time and you are overusing the cell phone, it has an adverse effect on the pineal gland. All of you know that there is a safe distance which has been recommended when you use the cell phone, that it should be at least 5 centimeters away from your pinna. But nobody does it. Practically everybody puts the mobile phone touching the pinna or trying to embed the phone into the pinna for the best sound. Now these crystals also interrupt the synthesis of the melatonin. Besides, you see, these crystals are not piezoelectric. Besides this, calcite crystals, DNA, bone, and ceramic substances are also piezoelectric. Bone, because bone also has hydroxyapatite crystals. Now, another phenomenon which you mostly see whenever you talk of pineal, there is illumination around pineal. So pineal gland is also piezoluminescence. There is piezoluminescence in the pineal. Piezoluminescence means that there is light due to pressure upon the solid. That is piezoluminescence. Now these calcite microcrystals emit cold light in the range of blue and green. The work of Attari, published in 1982. DMT, tryptophan, and ceramic crystals are also piezoluminescent. Now this phenomenon also occurs in certain marine insects. You know Jugnu? Jugnu, when it flies up in the air in the night, it flashes light. Marine fishes, particularly the fishes which are deep in the sea, they have to find their path, and for various other reasons, they flash light. When they are swimming, they flash light. So marine fishes and insects, they have this similar phenomenon. Now, since we are surrounded by 40 to 60 hertz electromagnetic field in our homes, workplace, and outside, this electromagnetic field suppresses the activity of the pineal gland and reduces melatonin function. Similarly, high voltage overhead lines, we see that they are crossing over the residential areas. They should not ideally cross the residential areas. There are There are rules of the development authorities, but we do find that over the high residential areas, there are high voltage overhead lines. These high voltage overhead lines, they suppress the pineal gland function, and person coming under the electromagnetic field around such lines, their pineal gland is definitely suppressed. Now, in the birds, pineal gland has been found to have a magnetoreceptor function. Magnetoreceptor function means that these calcite microcrystals in the pineal gland, they align to the magnetic field of the earth. See, earth has got, since it has a north and south pole, there are magnetic fields around the earth, and the birds, the calcite microcrystals in the bird pineal gland, they align themselves to this, and they also remember that they have to make an angle of certain degrees, so that they travel thousands of kilometers from Russia to India, from India to Russia back, and from Siberia to India, and every time they will come and land at that particular bird sanctuary. They will not go anywhere else. They will not go to Pakistan or Arab. They will not deviate to their path, but they maintain the path. They maintain the path because of this magnetoreceptor function of the calcite microcrystals. Similarly, in the blind men, we all know that blind men, they have better sense of direction. It has been postulated that the pineal gland of blind men has got a similar function to perform, because of which they are able to determine their path with greater efficacy than other persons who are not visually challenged. Now, Brahma Muhurt or Godhuli ki Bela, what you call as dawn, or earliest part of the sunrise, we have near ultraviolet light, or we have ultraviolet A light radiation. Now, whether it is near ultraviolet or ultraviolet light, it has a powerful signal which adversely affects the pineal melatonin generating system. It suppresses the melatonin synthesis and the pineal gland. So ultraviolet has got an adverse effect upon the pineal gland and melatonin. Now, infrared energy is a low frequency with longer wavelength in the light spectrum. Strong pulses of infrared energy, they adversely affect the brain, especially the calcite microcrystals, leading into sleeplessness, crying, agitation, depression, and so many adverse conditions, anxiety, apathy, and may lead to death even. But infrared energy is also used as therapeutic pulse for the muscle pain and for a large number of musculoskeletal disorders. The patient is asked to strip himself, sit in the room with infrared exposure, but is always asked to close his eyes during the exposure time, because from here the light signals reach the pineal gland. Now, there is a direct connection between the infrared thermal scanning and the COVID-19. See, it has become a very popular news, and there's a lot of myth that the infrared thermometers which are being used for scanning COVID-19 patients, they hit the pineal gland of the persons, and therefore they should not be used. There is a recent study by Harris Sayer, Director of Neuroradiology of Johns Hopkins University. According to him, the infrared thermometers, they do not emit radiation into the brain. They only sense the heat emitted by the body. So they pose no risk to the pineal gland, which is located deep in the brain. It is nowhere in the frontal lobe or frontal cord, near the frontal cortex. Now, solar flare is a phenomenon from the sun. It keeps happening now and then. Sun has got a huge surface area. So there is solar flare in particularly every direction, and it happens towards the earth also. First solar flare was observed by Richard Carrington with the help of optical telescope in 1859, and this keeps happening. Published in New Scientist journal in 1998, there is a direct connection between the solar flare and human biological phenomena. See, whenever solar flare occurs, the large electromagnetic, a large mass of electromagnetic signal comes from the sun to the earth via the same conduit as is for the light coming from the sun. Now, due to certain spurt of electromagnetic activity during solar flare, the pineal gland is suddenly stimulated. Now, as the pineal gland is stimulated, it takes the entire brunt upon itself and protects all other endocrine glands of the body. Therefore, my suggestion for the textbook writers is that a meaningful, voluminous chapter should appear on the pineal gland in the textbooks of anatomy, physiology, histology, neurosciences, consciousness science, etc. There are suggestions for further research on the consciousness process, correlation with the pineal gland function, if any, should be scientifically backed up. Peptidergic neuron-like cells should be histochemically identified, that which cells are producing thyroid stimulating hormone, which cells are producing the gonadotropin hormone, which cells are producing the hormones for the suprarenal gland, like that, and they could be further classified as in the pituitary gland. They are classified as the basophils, acidophils, and further on. These calcite microcrystals, their optical, electrical, and magnetic and EM properties required to be worked up, recording the vibrations, the sound, light by various scientific parameters in various conditions, including meditation. Why fluoride accumulates maximum in the pineal gland, and why is there massive accumulation of DMT molecule in the pineal gland? Both require further studies. In the blind man also we require to study. Histologically we will not be, histological studies can be done. Once the person is dead, pineal gland can be taken out in the autopsy and the crystals can be studied, but otherwise electromagnetic, electrical, magnetic studies can be done in the pineal gland of such persons. Now there is a hypothesis that the pineal gland vibrates. It vibrates whenever we have a hunch. It vibrates more strongly when we have an intuition or a sudden flash of intuitive understanding. Now, whether it is pineal gland which vibrates or whether it is vibration of calcite microcrystals, this requires to be worked up. It is the postulation of Gottfried D. Brurker, published in 2011. These are the references which I have used in preparation of this presentation, and I most humbly pay obeisance in the lotus feet of my Supreme Father, Param Guru Huzur Professor Prem Saran Satsangi Sahib, Chairman Advisory Committee on Education, Dialbag Education Institutions, who gave me intuitive guidance to write the article and prepare this presentation. Thanks to my better half, Dr. Raj Sahai, for her valuable help in preparation of this. To my peers and colleagues who have been a source of encouragement, Dr. Sandeep Saluja for enriching the contents of this presentation, Professor Sant Prakash and his wife, Professor Alka Prakash, the Department of Zoology, DI Dialbag, Agra, Mr. Rohit Saha, MBBS 2019 batch, KGMU Lucknow, and a huge brigade of UG and PG students, which developed over the 37 years of my teaching career in King George's Medical University, UP Lucknow, for their casual, free, offhand academic interactions, which has been a driving force for me to read more and more to justify their faith in me. My temple of learning and temple of work before 2011 was King George's Medical University, and after 2011, it is Diyalbagh Educational Institute and Saranashram Hospital of Diyalbagh, Agra. I thank everybody in the Department of Anatomy and the Anatomical Society of King George's Medical University, Dr. Punita Manik, her team of dedicated teachers, residents, and employees that you thought of me or giving this talk. Today, I don't know how much I have lived up to your expectations, but certainly there must be some who did not like the talk, and those who did not like the talk and got bored, I wish them a big yawn, a good sleep, and sweet dreams. Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.